Welcome to World of Monsters Versus. We choose two monsters of any sort and find out who the victor will be in a battle, a full-out combat showdown, no limits! And for everything monster, don't forget to subscribe. Now here's your host, Monster Master Arthur!
Hi, I'm Monster Master Arthur, and that's right, this is the newest playlist on this channel, Monster vs. Monster, where we have full combat showdowns at no limits. So let's introduce the contestants of the day. We have Pennywise from IT, and then we have an alien clown from Killer Klowns from Outer Space
Versus!
And if we have to choose one of the clowns from Killer Klowns, then I think I'll focus on Rudy. Why? Because just to me personally, he seemed a little bit more scary. Maybe, I don't know. But all their abilities and weaknesses are pretty much the same, except for, of course, that giant brute one, the Clownzilla. So before we jump into the battle, let's talk about the background of it a little bit, or Pennywise. Well, what's to say? Pennywise is a demonic entity, lures children through a variety of disguises to destroy them. And why children? Well, because they're just easier targets. Pennywise originated in a void that contains and surrounds the universe, called the Macroverse. And then for millions of years it resided under the grounds of Earth until the humans arrived. Now its true form, so terrifying and frightening that it's incomprehensible to the human mind. So this is what we have to look at. Now let's jump into the abilities and strengths.
Strengths!
Number 1, shapeshifting. It can change into any form, animate or inanimate, and it doesn't matter if we consider it to be something real or not. Fear. It induces fright to lower its victim's courage. Invisibility. It appears when it deems necessary. It's a complete illusionist, creating illusions that appear absolutely real to its victims. And only its victims. Fast regeneration, and that might naturally come with a full-out shape-shifting ability. Some telekinesis, as it can manipulate the motion of inanimate objects. Telepathy, as it has the limited ability to communicate and to read the minds of its victims at close quarters. And so with that nasty mind comes mind control, controlling thoughts, and even affecting memories of weaker-willed victims. Teleportation, being able to disappear in one instance and appear at a different location just shortly after. Though this seems to take a lot of power and or focus to perform. Ancient! With age comes wisdom. Death to flora, meaning it can instantly cause plants to wither and die. Atmokinesis, meaning ability to change the weather, although this could also be a mass performance of illusionism. Some electromagnetism, as expressed when a TV turned itself on. Athletics, particularly skilled in acrobatics. Come on, it's a clown. Or is it? Deadlights can kill its victims with lights, hypnotic lights shining from its eyes when in eye contact with its victim for over a certain amount of time. Sharp teeth that it can easily rip your throat out with. And jaws, particularly when in spider form.
Weaknesses.
Arrogance, considering itself a far superior being, quickly underestimating humans and therefore making it prone to mistakes. Specific physical weakness, having a soft spot on its body, and silver being its great enemy, therefore largely depending on mind games. Shapeshift reality, meaning that it's limited to the laws applicable to the form that it takes. Hibernation, it can go to sleep for over 25 years at a time, possibly making it extremely vulnerable to surprise attack. Now it is quite unknown if Pennywise was ever truly completely destroyed or only its physical form, not the entire entity. Now let's go over the Killer Klowns. Rudy, for example. Here's some background. The Killer Klowns are a malicious race, superior to us in some technology and abilities which would seem magical to us, or simply impossible. They landed a circus tent-like ship and terrorized a small town, going around zapping humans with their guns into cotton candy-like body bags for storage for future consumption, which they do by sticking in a straw and sucking out the decomposed bloody fluid. Actual origins still unknown, so for now, let's jump into their abilities and strengths.
Strengths.
Exceptionally strong and durable, seemingly almost invulnerable, supernatural, flight-level super leaps, performing the human puppet, killer shadow puppets, or what may just be a well-composed illusion, which could suggest that all of these things are elaborate illusions combined with their crazy technology and weapons. Array of weapons, popcorn bazookas, with which the planet popcorn can later also turn into clown babies, cotton candy cocoon or balloon for female guns, acid pies, mallets, boxing gloves, and of course their awesome little tracking balloon dogs. Now let's talk about the weaknesses, that's right. Well, actually, it's only the nose. Yes, that big bulbous nose. Just like a big red button, when you press it, something crazy happens. Well, in this case, you puncture that nose, and it leads to the very explosive destruction of the clown. So welcome to the analysis part of this crazy video, where we talk about who would most likely win and why in this battle between Pennywise and a killer clown such as Rudy. At first glance, the killer clowns truly seem almost overpowered with abilities and weapons that appear to have no limits. Yes, compared to Pennywise from It, with his weakness to silver and battery acid and well, much more, one would think the competition is over. But don't forget that Pennywise single-handedly, strategically terrorized more than a few people. With his multiple polka-dotted bags of tricks, It, as we have begun to imagine, is much, much more than meets the eye. And so, I present to you the showdown.
Our strange and creepy warriors meet on a dark and eerie city street. At first glance, they look at one another in confusion, almost playfully, seeing that either is not human nor benevolent. Sort of like that moment in Interview with a Vampire when Louis meets another vampire for the first time in a long time. Pennywise gnarls its pointy teeth in attack, and the killer clown pulls out his crazy pistol. It immediately disappears. The killer clown sends out its inflatable dogs to smell out Pennywise. It emerges and turns into a giant spider-like creature. The killer clown being too psychotic, the fear does not take over. The killer clown proceeds with one of its tricks, creating shadows on the wall. Pennywise plays back with its own brand of shadowy oddities. But the killer clown's shadow wounds it, as Pennywise's creation was indeed harmless. It yells in anger of pain and defeat, and turns into a crow. The killer clown throws a pie at it, and it sticks and begins to burn. It back in clown form shrieks in pain. So the killer clown once again prepares to fire his pistol. Pennywise quickly reacts and turns into a tiger. He leaps forth and his claw punctures the nose of the killer clown. The killer clown explodes with its impressive light show display. Victorious, it gallops away in search of another victim. Most likely a child, as they are much easier to manipulate, and much easier to feed on with their small heads. Tiny bones.
So as we saw, it won by a claw, but it could have easily gone the other way, with a killer clown at close combat knocking down it Pennywise, and then simply shooting it with its pistol, ending with a very different refreshment to the killer clowns with quite a kick to it. That is, if the gun would have had the same effect on it as it would have on humans.
If you really haven't yet, be sure to subscribe down below, leave us a like if you're happy with the outcome of this battle, or let us know down below how you think it should have ended, or what you think should have happened. Check us out on all that social media stuff, links down below, and let us know who or what you would like to see battle down in the next episode of World of Monsters Versus.